Hi everyone, I hope you are well. On my last video I talked about the best way to get your referral to the Maudsley DP unit and the potential quickest way to do that. Today I want to talk about what happens in between getting your referral and having your first appointment at the Maudsley. So you should pretty much straight away get sent through a letter of your appointment date and timing, and they'll also send you a bunch of questionnaires. Off the top of my head there's about 7 or 8 maybe. I should have made a copy of them, but that's roughly what I remember. Now the first one is the basic one, your name, date of birth, all that kind of thing. And they want to know when you first got DP, if you can remember, and what was happening around the time, whether you think anything in particular triggered it off, and if you do, to give as much detail about that event as possible. So it gives them an idea of how it started for you. So that's kind of the first questionnaire that you have. And they did say they just want you to be as detailed as possible and to give as much information as possible. The second questionnaire, I do have a copy here actually, is called the Cambridge Depersonalisation Scale. Basically, they give you a massive list of all your potential symptoms, and you have to mark off on a line between 0 and 100% of how bad that symptom is for you at the moment. Let's give you an example. So number 1 is, I'm feeling strange as if I were not real or as if I were cut off from the world. And then I had to mark off the line. So for me that symptom is 100% bad. It's all the time, it's really intense. One that doesn't affect me is I'm not feeling any emotions at all. I put down a 0 for that. Let's give you another couple of examples. I am now having the feeling of being outside my body. I feel like touching myself to make sure that I have a body or a real existence, which is again 100% for me. Sometimes if I'm going out with someone, I have to have them pinch me as hard as they can just so I can try and feel something, because my body just goes so numb and I have no idea if I'm there or not, so I have to try and feel pain, which sounds a bit strange, but if you have DP I'm sure you know what I mean. A couple of other questions. My surroundings are feeling detached or unreal, as if there were a veil or a fog between me and the outside world. So again, that was 100% for me. Or I'm having the feeling that my hands and my feet have become larger or smaller, and that one's 0% for me. So there's about 25 to 30 questions on that one. And Dr. Elaine Hunter, who's the clinical lead at the DP unit, said to be as honest as you can with them, because she said some people have had such a hard journey trying to get the referral in the first place that they've added symptoms, exaggerated symptoms just to get there. And she said that it was really good what I did, put, the honest answer, I was 0 or 100 basically on all of them, because if I didn't, she wouldn't really know the best way to treat me, because she'd think, it was of a different level or something else. So she said always be 100% honest when answering these questionnaires, as it's more helpful for them to get better insight into your condition. But another questionnaire that you send is the Depersonalisation Scale, the trait version. I've got the copy here as well of that. So it says, this questionnaire describes strange and funny experiences that normal people may have in their daily life. We are interested in their A, frequency, so how often you've had these experiences over the last 6 months, and B, their approximate duration. For each question, please circle the answers that suit you best, and if you're not sure, give your best guess. Okay, I'll give you a couple of examples of this one as well. Number 1, out of the blue, I feel strange, as if I were not real, or as if I were cut off from the world. So the frequency, you have to circle around these. So it's either 0, which is never, 1, which is rarely, 2, often, 3, very often, or 4, all the time. That one for me is a 4. And then you have to put the duration. So you have to put whether it's a few seconds, few minutes, few hours, about a day, more than a day, or more than a week. So that was more than a week for me because I have it all the time. Another few questions that they ask as well, just to give you a few examples, so what to expect. They do really list every single symptom. A lot of them I didn't have, and then a lot of them I did. I hadn't even realised some of them were symptoms, to be honest. So they have, what I see looks flat or lifeless, as if I were looking at a picture. That's number 2. Or 3, parts of my body feel as if they don't belong to me. Again, that was all the time and more than a week for me. Let's see another good one. My body feels very light, as if it were floating on air. That's never for me. I wish I did feel lighter than I do. I need to go on the diet, I think. That's sort of the 3rd question, and that's quite a long one as well. I think there's about, how many? There's about 30 questions of them. And again, the best thing is to just be completely honest about that. So yeah, they'll get you to fill in these questionnaires and they'll give you a prepaid envelope. And they just want you to send that back as quick as you can so they can get a much better idea of your situation and they can have a bit longer to process and see what they can come up with before you come in for your first appointment. So I hope that was helpful. If you'd like to know any of the other questions, let me know in the comments and I can send you over a few more questions of what they actually ask from the depersonalisation scale. So thank you for watching, and my next video will be about my first appointment at the Maudsley, which I had about 2.5 months ago now. So I'll talk through what happens in that. Hope you're all having a nice day and talk to you soon.